Hello everyone, I hope everybody is safe and doing good. In this video, I'll be talking about my experience in the Vande Bharat repatriation flights that the government of India is operating in association with Air India. These flights bring Indian nationals who are stranded across the globe into India and take passengers from India to various destinations across the globe. This travel is, however, restricted with rules and guidelines. The complete list of routes on which Air India is operating these flights is available on the Air India website, and I will leave a link in the description for the same. And I won't say please like, share, and subscribe. I would just say please share this video because it might not be useful to you, but it might be of use to someone else. So please share it in your family, friends, and everywhere else so that this video reaches those people who wish to travel or who are registered to travel in this time. So please share this video as much as you can so that my purpose of making this video, that is to help people, gets completed. In this video, I'll be covering a whole lot of topics, right from booking the tickets to travel restrictions to experience at the airport, experience in the aircraft, services provided by Air India, and so on. And most of these things are not only related to the repatriation flights, they will continue to be in effect even after the normal international flights begin their operations on all routes. Over here, I'll be sharing the experience of my travel from Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj International Airport, Mumbai to Liberty International Airport, Newark in the United States of America. Tickets for these Vande Bharat repatriation flights can be booked online or through the mobile application of Air India. I would prefer booking it from the mobile application because that is simpler and hassle-free. However, there are certain restrictions which you need to follow. There are certain classes of people who can travel in these flights from India to anywhere in the world. Only the following categories of people are allowed to travel from India to the United States on the Vande Bharat flights. And the categories include: the traveler should be a US citizen or a green card holder or an OCI card holder. If not the above three, then he or she should have a valid visa which has at least 3 months of validity remaining after the scheduled departure from India. Or else, the individual should have a confirmed offer of employment or an internship in the United States with the residual validity of visa for at least 1 month. Apart from all of these, students that have an F or an M visa to the United States can travel in these Vande Bharat repatriation flights only if they are continuing their education in the United States of America. And along with that, they will need a letter from the college stating that it is reopening its operations on campus for the upcoming semester. There's a point to be noted over here. Students who have got admission for the fall 2020 semester are not allowed to travel on these flights, that is the Vande Bharat repatriation flights. These students will be eventually allowed later on to fly to the US once the operations of the normal international flights begin. But they are not allowed to travel on these repatriation flights right now. There might be some additions or some changes to this list eventually, and this information can be verified and can be found out on the Air India website and the Ministry of Civil Aviation website for India as well. And I repeat, this list is strictly for the Vande Bharat repatriation flights. This does not apply to the regular international flights which are to begin soon. This is only for the Vande Bharat repatriation flight. Now, I'll talk about my experience at the Mumbai airport. In the pre-coronavirus times, for international travel, passengers were supposed to reach 3 or 4 hours prior to the departure at the airport. However, now it is necessary that you reach at least 5 to 6 hours prior to your scheduled departure. The reason for that is various checkpoints at the airport. Before entering the airport, there's a huge queue for passengers. Yes, even before you enter the main gate of the airport, you have to fall in queue for your thermal checkup, for submitting the health forms that is given to you when you are in the line. This was the queue that was formed outside the main gate of the airport. So when I was in line outside the airport, I was handed two forms by the Air India officials. The first form was a health checkup form, in which I had to declare my medical condition, my travel history in the last 48 days, my point of contact in India, any addresses in India, so on and so forth. The second form was a compulsory undertaking form, in which it said if at the port of destination you are not allowed to enter inside that country, like for me, my port of destination was New York, and if I am not allowed to enter New York due to any reason, may it be health, may it be immigration, visa, or something, then I have to return back to India. And that return travel cost has to be borne by me and not Air India. The second declaration was if at the port of destination, if I am asked to do a paid quarantine, like in a hotel or in some other place where there's a paid quarantine facility available, if I am asked to go into that, then the cost for that will be borne by me and not Air India. These are the two things on which you have to sign, and only after that you will be allowed to enter the airport after you have a thermal checkup done at the entrance and your passport and documents checked, these two health forms checked. Once all of this is done, you are allowed to enter the main gate of the airport. And this is the reason why there was such a huge queue outside the airport. It took me 2.5 hours to enter that gate, just to enter the main gate of the airport. This is the health checkup form that you have to fill when in line outside the airport. This is the undertaking that states you will bear all the costs for quarantine and travel. This is the undertaking which states you will bear the cost for deportation and penalties if any. After entering inside, we were directed towards another queue in which we had to drop off one part of the health checkup form at the counter over there. And from there, we were directed towards the baggage drop-off counter for Air India. The baggage drop-off process was a usual one. I was allowed 2 into 23 kgs of check-in baggage and 1 into 8 kgs of cabin baggage. From the baggage counter, now I moved on to the security check post. At the security check earlier, bottles of water were not allowed to pass through during international travel, but now they allow bottled water to pass through the machines, and hence you can carry bottle of water along with you for the airport journey. Once the security check is done, then you move on to the immigration counter. Over there, the regular immigration process takes place and you will drop off the second part of the health form over there. And from there, you move on towards your gate. The most interesting part of the journey from immigration counter till the boarding gate is the duty-free shopping. Of course, we all love that. However, during these tough times, the duty-free shops were closed as well. Most of them were closed, a couple of them were still operational. Most of the cafes were closed as well. So if you're planning to travel, then please make sure that you carry food and water along with you, at least to suffice when you're at the airport. From the duty-free shops, now I moved on to my boarding gate. When at the boarding gate, proper arrangements were made to maintain social distancing. Every alternate seat was marked as not for seating. There were 2 separate queues to enter the aircraft. One of them was for the middle seat passengers and the other 2 were for aisle and window seat passengers. The reason for that is the middle seat passengers were given PPE kits. Yes, the blue or the white ones covering from top to bottom. The middle seat passengers had to compulsory wear those PPE kits. When in the queue, all the passengers were handed over a packet by the Air India staff. This packet consisted of one mask, few sachets of sanitizer and a face shield. I have the face shield with me. This is how it looks, the face shield. After the packets were handed over to us, there was a security check again. Our bags were put through a scanning machine. Our passport, visas and other documents were checked. And then we were led into the aircraft. The entry into the aircraft was as usual, nothing different. However, the cabin crew were wearing complete PPE kit to avoid any contact with the passengers. The flight was a jam-packed flight. Not a single seat in a 450-seater aircraft was empty, in my flight at least. There were a lot of people who asked me whether food was served in the aircraft, were you kept hungry for the entire duration of the flight. So let me tell you, food was served in the aircraft, but it was in the form of a pre-packaged food. No hot meals were served. All the pre-packaged food, the 3 meals that are served in a 15-hour duration flight, were already kept on each seat before the passengers boarded the plane. Along with that, a 1 liter bottle of water was also kept. There was no other service provided by the cabin crew throughout the duration of the flight. If you want extra bottle of water, you can go to the cabin crew and ask for it. They will not come to your seat and give you any service. Moreover, the entertainment system in the flight, blankets, cushions, and any other magazines or newspapers were not there at all. This is to maintain precaution and safety during the coronavirus times, and hence this step was taken by the airlines, which is a good initiative. So, if you want to have any entertainment in your flight, you have to carry your own laptop or mobile phones, any downloaded music or movies like that. You won't be able to watch movies on the entertainment system in the flight anymore. This was the first box of food that I opened up in the flight, and it had a Tetra Pak mango juice, a banana, some cookies, a muffin, some salted peanuts, and a large slice of bread with cheese rolled and packed in a saran wrap. It was a good meal, a wholesome meal, and the quality of food was good as well. This was the second box of food that I opened in the flight. It also had a mango Tetra Pak juice, some cookies, a aloo bhujia packet, an apple, and the two things in the foil wrap are a kachori and a wrap. The wrap had paneer makhni or some kind of a paneer stuffing inside. And that was really tasty. So even this meal was up to the mark. It was good. This pack of dry food had a Tetra Pak mango juice, some butter cookies, a Nutri bar, a pack of aloo bhujia, and a pack of chips. As I explained, the food was quite good and the quality was not bad at all. And there was no restriction on the use of washrooms. However, passengers were strictly warned by the airline crew that they should not gather around the washroom area to form queue. If one person is using the washroom, only one extra person is allowed to wait outside the washroom in queue to use the washroom, and no one else is allowed to wait over there. Passengers had been advised not to make movement inside the aircraft and be seated at all times during the flight. However, even after these warnings, I could see many passengers leaving their seats and making their movements inside the aircraft here and there at multiple times. The main reason for that, they were separated from their family. They could not get seats together. And hence, I will strictly advise everyone who wants to travel to do a web check-in 48 hours prior to your departure. That is when the web check-in window opens and you can choose your kind of seat or whatever seat preference do you have. But if you go to the airport and directly want to get a seat, you might not get all your seats together. And that is when people start making movements inside the aircraft, which poses a risk again. So it is advisable to do a web check-in before you board. Once the announcement for landing was made, the cabin crew fumigated the entire aircraft. I hope it was well within the safety standards. Once the aircraft landed, the deboarding took place in a phased manner. Only 5 rows at a time were allowed to deboard the plane, and so that to prevent crowding at the immigration counters as well. Once we deboarded the plane, I went straight to the immigration counter. From there, I went to the baggage claim, and then that's it. That was how my journey from India to the United States ended. There are a lot of things I'm going to talk about after this point as well, which would be in general to flying international even after coronavirus times in the next few months, of course, once the regular international flights open up. So hold on. Now towards the end of this video, I will talk about a few general things which are of course related to the Vande Bharat Air India flights, and they would relate to the other flights as well, the other international flights which would begin their operations sometime soon, hopefully. Those are: reach your airport early. That is the first and foremost important thing. Instead of arriving late and then panicking to make it to your flight, please reach the airport early, and during these tough times you should be at least 5 to 6 hours early to the airport. Keep a pen handy. That's the most important thing. You should have a pen handy because you will have to fill multiple forms throughout your journey, and rather than borrowing a pen from someone which is unsafe, you should have your own pen. Arogya Setu application. You should have the Arogya Setu application installed, registered, and accessed in your mobile phone. That is very important because that will be checked at the airport of origin and the airport of destination as well. Web check-in. I highly recommend this. If you want a seat of your own choice, then please do a web check-in that opens 48 hours prior to your departure. Like my flight was scheduled for 1:30 a.m. to take off from Mumbai on 22nd of June. So on the 20th of June, 1:30 a.m. my web check-in window opened and immediately I booked the seat that I wanted. The Mumbai airport was maintained really well. There were markings all the way on the floor throughout the airport to maintain social distancing, that is a 6 feet gap between people, and the people used to follow that. They have to wait on that mark only. And that was a really good initiative by the airport, and it was there throughout the airport. You should carry your own food and water if you need it, because going 6 hours prior to your departure, you have to wait 6 hours till you board the plane. You will need food and water, and you should carry your own because most of the cafes are closed, and you will get food and water in the aircraft, but before that you need to carry your own because water is now allowed through the security check, so you can carry a bottle of water. Carry your own in-flight entertainment. If you are on a very long journey, then you can carry your laptop and then some downloaded movies in it or some music in it, because in-flight entertainment is not an option now, and it won't be an option for a few months at least until this coronavirus pandemic slows down or eradicates. Many people had asked me about the cost of my flight, so here it is. My flight was from Mumbai to New Jersey, that is Newark International Airport, and it costed me 1,05,000 Indian rupees one way. The flights from US to India cost somewhere around 1,36,000, whereas from India to US cost somewhere around 1,05,000, a little bit up and down from the various cities. It differs according to the cities. And that was the cost of my plane ticket one way. There are different rules for different countries. As I explained earlier, the categories of visas that are allowed to enter the United States. Similarly, there are various rules for various other countries. People coming from there and going from India to there are various rules. So you can check all of that either on the Indian Embassy website for that country, or on the Ministry of Civil Aviation's website of India, or on the Air India website as well. It is available on all three places. There were a lot of questions about quarantine and other stuffs in the United States. So it is an advisable home quarantine for everyone who's traveling into the United States, a 14 days advisable home quarantine, and it is safe for you and for others as well that once you travel from international borders into the United States, you should remain at home and monitor yourself. If you feel any of the symptoms or anything else, any weaknesses, you should contact the health officials of your city or your locality, and they will help you with that. And more information on this can be read from the CDC website of the United States of America. And yes, that's it. That's all that I wanted to share. If there's something that I have missed out and you want to know more about it, then please write it in the comment section or give me a DM. I will be more than happy to reply to that. And I won't say please like, share and subscribe. I would just say please share this video, because it might not be useful to you, but it might be of use to someone else. So please share it in your family, friends and everywhere else, so that this video reaches those people who wish to travel or who are registered to travel in this time. So please share this video as much as you can, so that my purpose of making this video, that is to help people, gets completed. Thank you so much and have a good day.